All right. So to start, we're just gonna lay down on our back. And before you come into your Shavasana or your supported Shavasana in your constructive rest pose, we're going to take a soft bend into our knees and bring the soles of the feet flat on the floor. Let's press the feet down and lift the hips up by maybe just about an inch. And then pull your navel, the pelvic floor at the front of your hips, in and up to allow your lumbar spine, your low back to lengthen a little. So it's almost like rounding your pelvis, posterior pelvis tilt, in order to get a little bit more length in our low back and a little bit of a lift at the front of our hips, and slowly lower your hips down. Then walk your feet to the sides of your mat and relax your knees onto each other softly with your arms by your side, and turn your palms to face up. Maybe wiggle the shoulders around a little to relax your shoulder girdle, relaxing your neck, your jaw, where your upper, your lower jaw meet by your ears. Then close your eyes softly. Soften your forehead and tune within to notice your inner energy field, and let it be a peaceful one. Observe your breath, inhale and exhale slowly, deeply. And fully find yourself present, being on your mat, perhaps finding a moment of gratitude to be thankful for all our blessings, that we are here on our mat right now, practicing mindfulness, moving in our body with ease, being healthy, for our ecosystem, everything that's happening around us, all the support that we're receiving, all the work that we are doing for ourselves to practice self-care, self-love. It doesn't come easy. It requires a lot of determination to be strong and be on the positive side of the spectrum. So take a moment and thank yourself for having that mental resilience to be present here and now. And observe your muscles, go a little deeper as you notice how you feel in your body from inside out. Scanning your body from your toes all the way to your hips. See if you can relax any of the muscles along the way as you gently, softly relax your knees onto each other, relax your thighs, your hips. Notice the inflation of your belly, of your chest with each breath in. And as you breathe out, the falling of your belly, your chest towards the back body, and let it fill up your back body, getting that support again internally. Let your next breath in to follow along and continuing that circle, just observing, following the rhythm of your breath. If you're holding any tension in your shoulders, let it go, relax, send that energy down to your fingertips, soften your throat, your jaw. And send your breath anywhere in your body that you feel like can use a little more attention, love, and care. And mentally also, see if you can listen intensely to the sound of your breath to let go of any thoughts. Finding that deep, joyful, vital energy that your breath invites to your being in between the gaps that you experience as you let go of thinking. Slowly open your eyes if your eyes were closed. Wiggling your fingers and your toes gently. Then walk your feet towards the center. And from here, we're going to bring both knees into our chest to wrap our arms around our shins, and a gentle rocking of our body from side to side. Nice and easy. Lower your left foot down and stretch your left leg long. Keep hanging onto your right knee, resting your hands onto your right shin. Gently move your right leg around with your knee softly bent so that your quadricep is closer towards your chest, your torso. Bring your knee onto the right side and just feel the movement, not just of your knee, but also all the way down to the femur in the hip socket. See if you can guide your breath there, just lubricating the hip joint. Slowly bring your knee back to the center onto the left side and crossing your knee all the way. If you want to rest your knee onto your blanket, onto anything, it doesn't necessarily have to rest. Feel free to lift your shoulder up slightly off your mat so your right shoulder can up. I mean, sometimes we got to compromise. If lowering your knee requires your right shoulder to lift up, then so be it. But you can always ground your right shoulder down and keep your right knee hovering off the floor. So your choice. See what feels good for your body. If you want to explore both options, go for it. Or if you can bring your prop underneath your right knee to kind of feel the rooting of both your shoulder and your knee onto the earth, then that's also great. Softening the gluteus medius, so the muscle that's on the side of your buttocks. See if you can soften, lengthen that big muscle, complementary to your gluteus maximus at the round of your bum cheek. This muscle is on the sides of your butt. And then slowly bring your right knee back over to the center. Rest your hands back onto your shin. Relax your shoulders. Let go of the weight of your leg so that you can soften your low back, your mid back a little more onto the earth. And then slowly stretch your right leg long. We're going to switch sides. Let's bring the left knee in. Resting both hands onto your left shin. Maybe moving your knee around gently with your right fingertips onto the right side of your hip. Before coming into your static hold for your release in your hips, just move your knees softly around every time you take a breath. And maybe hold your knee over towards the left side this time with your knee externally rotating, resting your outer left thigh onto your palm, soften, eccentrically lengthening your left inner thigh. And cross your knee onto the right side. And again, feel free to use any of your props to rest your knee on top of your prop, just finding some release there, however it feels good for you. If you want to lower your knee down and lift your shoulder up, then alternating slowly to hang out anywhere in between that you feel like might be helpful for you to stay there, just to find some sweet relief around the sides of your hips, sides of your waist. Then stay there, pause, take a couple of deep breaths. And slowly release. Let's come back over to the center, hugging both knees in back to your chest. Gentle rocking of your body from side to side. Going to come into our happy baby pose. So if you want to get a hold of your strap and place your strap at the balls of your feet, if you want more of a support for your happy baby pose, and that's always a great modification. But if you can reach for the sides of your feet with your palms, then go ahead and find that connection, find that bind. Wherever you are, let's get a little heavier through our arms so that the body weight in our arms can relax and lower our knees a little closer towards the floor. And extend the back of your knees to a degree, or should I say, you can fold the back of your knees to a degree without lifting your lumbar spine, your sacrum off the mat. So if you feel like by bending your knees deeply, you're now coming into a bit of a lift in your low back, then try to ground your hips back down and maybe take a softer bend at the back of your knee. Keeping the soles of your feet flat so that you can hold 2 blocks at the soles of your feet. And just rest here for a few breaths. Let gravity take hold. Then slowly release. You can bring your band over to the side. And extending both legs long on the mat. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to get a little deeper into our hamstrings. So again, with or without your band, you can hug your right knee into your chest and then place the band at the ball of your right foot. Finding your loop. Maybe wrap your right hand around your strap a couple of times. If you don't have a strap, Cassie, and you can't reach for your right big toe, you can always hang on to the back of your calf and bend your left knee. So just finding some release here. As long as you can feel a deeper sense of stretch in your right hamstring, that's what you're looking for. It doesn't matter necessarily how you're getting there, but just, maintaining that level of curiosity in your body to make sure that you're stretching and warming up the back of your right leg efficiently so that we can go to our peak pose today, which is our half split or a deeper version of our half split as we work our way towards full splits. Hamstring flexibility is a big part of our Hanumanasana, not only having our hamstring flexible, but also strong to the front and the back of our legs in order to be able to get to the pose, to the asana safely. But what we want first is just some sweet release. And then from here, we're going to slowly open up our right foot to the right side with our inner arch over our right shoulder. Just a bit of a opening, not too drastic, so you don't need to bring your foot all the way down onto the mat or onto the floor. Just some opening in the hip crease, and again, feel the length on the inner leg all the way to where your femur and your hip socket meet. And slowly bring your foot to the center onto your left side. Get a hang of both sides of your strap or your leg with your left palm. And bring your right foot directly over your left shoulder to feel the stretch again around the gluteus medius, around the IT band, outer left thigh, outer right thigh, outer right kneecap, all the way to your ankle. And let's bring the leg back over to the center. And feel free to get a hold of the sides of your strap with one hand each. And then lift your head and your shoulders off the mat. Just kind of bow into your right leg. Maybe hyperextend your knee just a little bit so that you can feel that extra length in your right hamstring. Take a deep breath towards it. Breathing out. Then we're going to slowly lengthen and lower our right leg back onto the mat. You can lengthen and lower your left leg back onto the floor also, and just notice the difference. Take a deep breath. Exhale to release. We're going to repeat the same asanas, the same movements on our left side. So let's bring the left knee into the chest. Just place the strap at the ball of your left foot and bring both hands onto the loose end of your strap. Find your loop. And again, that same concept of letting your arm to be heavy. Let that weight in your arm to kind of give you a bit of a self-assist in order to get more length in the back side of your left leg. If you want to bring your right foot flat on the floor in order to feel the stretch more in your hamstring and not so much in your inner thighs, then go for it. Or even your low back, because as soon as you start bending your right knee, your low back also unlocks. So you can focus your energy in manifesting the energy that might be pent up in your left hamstring. keeping your connection to your breath, sending the energy out through your left toes. And slowly maybe open up your foot to the left side with your foot directly over your left shoulder. Notice if you're holding on to your energy anywhere in your body or even mentally. If you're just over analyzing the way that you feel in your body, just try to let it go. One more breath in. And exhale, slowly release. Inhale to come back over to the center, and we're going to cross the leg onto our right side. As soon as you feel like you're getting a bit of a sensation, a bit of a tingling in the muscles, coming across any kinks and quirks, that's when you can pause. And sometimes that is not necessarily at our maximum range of motion. Sometimes we skip that gray area in between the two sides of our horizon. So hang out anywhere that feels good for you without having that kind of mindset that you need to go super deep in your pose in order to advance in your practice. And advanced practice sometimes means being more aware of just the in-betweens that we don't necessarily normally pay a whole lot of attention to. Just a bit of a house cleaning for your body, for your muscles, if you may. Then slowly come back over to the center. You can get a hold of the sides of your strap or your leg, your foot with both hands. And then lift the back of your head and shoulders off the floor. Maybe pressing your left hamstring out just a bit to find that length and let that length really resonate. Discovering it back in your body. Take a full breath towards it. Breathing out. And then slowly soften your rib cage and let your left leg to also lengthen long back onto the floor, extending both legs out. Take a deep breath. And pause for your exhale and just observe how you feel now. And from here, we're going to extend our arms out and maybe bend at your knees and roll onto your side and use your palm to slowly come up and take a comfortable seat. Good. So for our seat, we can use our blanket. You can use the blanket underneath your hips, or if you don't have a blanket or a pillow, then that's not a problem. We can take a deeper bend into your knees. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana, but a very kind of passive Paschimottanasana with a focus on lengthening our back body. So when you're ready, join me sitting up. Maybe lean forward a little in front of your bolster, in front of your pillow, your blanket, just so you can take and remove that flesh off of your bum cheeks. And then we're going to extend both arms up to inhale. As you exhale, deeply bend your knees as you come into a gentle forward fold and let your arms hang out anywhere that they take you. So normally if we in our normal setup, we would have a bolster underneath our knees. So see if you can imitate and mimic that kind of alignment in your body, and imagine that you're holding a bolster or just supporting your legs with that bolster. You can even slide a pillow underneath your knees. Honestly, it doesn't have to be like a yoga bolster, just any kind of support that you can let your legs gently rest on. And if you don't have that pillow, that bolster, then it's not a big deal. Just do what I'm doing, softly bending my knees and letting my upper body to slowly, with each breath, open up. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale fully. Exhale. Maybe lift your navel up a little just to send your abdominal muscles towards the back body to assist with that opening in our low back or mid back. Inhale. Exhale. Soften down. One last time. Inhale. Feel your low ribs softening. And as you exhale, kind of sending the air out from the low abs and out through your lungs, resting here. So take your time, slowly come all the way back up. Awesome. From here, we're going to bring the blanket over to the side and we're going to come up and stand up on our mat. So however it feels good for you. If you want to move through a flow, maybe come into all fours. And then from here, tuck your toes under and lift your knees off the floor to come into a gentle down dog, and then walk your feet to the top of your mat to come into a gentle forward fold. Exhale to relax down, and then eventually we're going to meet back at the top of our mat, standing in our mountain pose. All right, awesome. From here, if you have a block, then place the block on the side of your mat. If you don't have a block, that's no big deal. What we could do is we could just let our fingertips relax on our side. So we're going to cross the right ankle in front of the left ankle with our outer edges of our feet touching side by side, and then reach both arms up as you inhale and use your exhale to kind of lower your palms through your heart with your back slightly flat. So maintaining that space between your ribs and your hips, then relax your fingertips down in front of your toes. If your fingers touch the floor, great. If not, still great. You could bend your knees softly and then walk your fingertips over to the right side. So take a softer bend into your knees, especially into your left knee if your fingers don't touch the floor, or if you feel like you have to struggle here for your balance because our legs are crossed. It's not easy. Most of the weight is being supported by our left foot. So what we want is we want that gentle opening to happen with security, meaning that if your fingers are lifted and you're struggling for the balance, then try to bend your knees and lower your fingertips down. And maybe find gentle movements by bending and slowly strengthening your left knee. So it doesn't have to be a complete lockout of your kneecap. It could be just soft motions to bend your knee and stretch your leg out. A couple of more rounds. Good. And when you're ready, slowly bring your fingertips back over to the center. And then let's come all the way back up with control to release the right foot back beside the left. And we're going to switch sides. Bring your right foot over to the center and cross your left foot in front of the right with the outer edges of your feet touching. Inhale here. You can bring your hand onto your hips or hands in front of your heart, whatever works best for you. And as you exhale, let's send the hips back, maintaining that space in the hip crease to lower your torso over your right thigh or your left thigh this time. And then walk your fingertips over to your left side with a soft bend into your right leg. Finding a gentle release. Relaxing your head, your neck, bending your knee and slowly straightening your right knee a few times. And from here, let's walk the fingers back over to the center whenever you're ready. And take your time to slowly rise back up. Good. All right. Let's move on. We're going to inhale to come into our extended arm in our mountain pose. And as you exhale, forward fold, lower your fingertips down towards the earth, relax your head. Inhale to come into your flat back. Exhale, relax your head down. Let's lower both palms down and we're going to come into our downward facing dog. And in your down dog, I have flying wings. 1 second. And in your down dog, if you want to pedal your feet a few times, go ahead and pedal your feet and just warm up the back of your legs. And let's bring both feet together. We're going to inhale to lift the heels off the floor. And as you exhale, lower your heels over to the right side with your palms grounded down onto your mat. Bend your knee and shift your hips towards the heels. And slowly come all the way back up, switching sides. Lower both heels over to the left side. Keep reaching your hips out as you lower them towards the heels and come back over to the center. Inhale. Exhale back into your downward facing dog. Then lower your knees down onto your mat. And from here, we're gonna bend at our elbows and let's slowly come all the way down with your palms by your hips face down. You can rest your forehead down onto the mat and press the tops of your feet onto the floor. Inhale to slowly lift your forehead, chest off the mat, walking the scapula towards each other, lengthening the sternum forward. Exhale. A few more rounds of breath here, soft, gentle, slow-mo inhales and exhales. One more breath in. And a slow, relaxing exhale. Relax your forehead down. Find child's pose for a moment. Extend your arms forward and relax your forehead. Rest your hips on your heels, maybe move your shoulders, moving your hips. But then let's maintain the length in our erector spinae muscles. So the muscles covering the length of your spine are elongated, they're engaged. Send your breath there. Exhale, soften the front body onto the back body, kind of creating that support again for our back body. And from here, we're going to come back onto all fours. If you want to cover the width of your mat with your blanket for your knees to have cushion, go ahead. In fact, I'm going to do that also. And let's rest our knees on top of our blanket. If you don't have a blanket, I know you could always double up on your mat. So it really depends on you. And then we're going to shift the weight onto the left side. Let's bring the right foot forward and walk your left foot back just a little to sink your hips down. Just move around here with ease. Maybe shift your body weight onto your right fingertips, onto your left fingertips. If your fingers don't touch the floor with ease, then it doesn't matter. You can always take a softer bend into your right knee and walk your left foot forward just so you can rest your palms onto the mat. You don't have to go as deep in your low lunge in order to, again, feel that stretch, feel that release. If you take a step back, your body might open up a lot faster and a lot quicker. So really exploring in your body and what works best for your system. Then from here, we're going to come into our half split for the first round. We're going to slowly start sinking the hips back and stretch the right leg out. And since this is our first Ardha Hanumanasana, we're just going to take it super easy. Before you come down though, maybe try to make it a little more active by sending your hips back, lifting your navel up, and just maintaining that length in your low back. As you press your right heel down onto the mat and allow your chest to slowly relax towards the top of your thigh. Here it might be helpful to bend your knee and stretch your knee out just a couple of times. If you start hearing any clicks in your joints, then you can always kind of, move around before you hear that clicking sound. So finding, again, the range of motion in your body that is working for you. If you don't want to bend your knee because that kind of clicking sound, which I think all of us have at some points in our body, is bothering you, then you don't have to do it. But it's always nice to find some ease in the body, and sometimes the clicks take care of itself. They take care of themselves on their own. Good. And let's open up the hips over to the left side and then swing the hips back forward. It's really, really great to get all the muscles in your hamstrings to warm up, to lengthen. And slowly letting go. We're going to walk our hands forward. And let's lift our left knee off the floor. And bring both feet flat onto your mat with your toes pointing forward. Inhale to come into our Parshvattanasana or our pyramid pose. Exhale, we're going to let our upper body to relax over our right leg, just with ease here. If reaching your palms onto the floor is not helping you today, you can always bring your hands onto your right leg, onto your right shin. Just feel that security. Feel like you don't have to fight for your fingers to reach the floor, or that you don't have to fight for your balance, that nature is going to bring balance to you. Your breath is going to bring that balance to you. Go ahead and open up your hips here the same way that we did when we were doing our half split. Hips open up, softly come back to the center. And then slowly come back up with a straight spine. We're gonna try our active splits just to prepare for our full splits here. So with your hands onto your hips or lifted to the sides of you, start lifting your right toes and your left heel off the floor. Trying to find your balance here. Catching your breath. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly lower your foot, your heel back onto the mat. From here, let's bring both hands behind our back with the palms to touch, or you can make a fist and bring your fist to touch, your choice. Inhale here as you find length, and exhale to come into your forward fold. And here, really think about engaging and finding that heat in your shoulder blade muscles. The deltoids, latissimus, the muscles surrounding the scapula are all active and engaged here. So maybe press your fingertips a little more onto each other to feel that heat, feel that engagement, opening up the front of your chest. It's also a good distraction to not think about the length at the back of our right leg. And slowly come back up. And let's release the fingers, shake your wrists. Good. From here, we're gonna bring our left knee back onto the floor. And if you have your blocks, which I don't think you do, but I'm just gonna show you guys how I use the blocks in order to experience a deeper version of my half split. So there are multiple ways of going about this. You can always use your pillow as well, Cassie, if it's supportive enough. If not, it's not a big deal. Then what I like to do here is I like to have my blocks or my fingers kind of touching the floor. And I start by walking my left foot back. So coming to your version of half split that it feels good for you. So maybe this is your limit, or maybe you can start walking your left foot back a little more. What helps is that wherever you feel like you're getting a little tighter, that's where you pause. And you can always use a prop that you feel like you can trust and support in order to rest your hips on top of your support. So it could be a meditation cushion, which is something I use quite often. It could be a supportive pillow, or it could be a block. And a block is a really good prop to have for this pose. Sometimes I even use 3 blocks for this pose if I'm stretching my gluteus medius because it's feeling a little tighter than normal. Then I have 2 blocks supporting my fingertips, and I have 1 block supporting my hips. So wherever you are, again, it doesn't have to be this deep, but what we want to achieve essentially is we want to achieve a wider angle. So don't think about, how wide your angle is. Just think about the sensation that you're getting, and just maybe push yourself by 5-10%, not more than that. And let's come into our downward facing dog. So I think with the practice that we do for this class, it's very, very likely that you're going to find a lot of release in, in a decent amount of time, which you guys are practicing. So I'm pretty sure that your practice already feels so much better from the time that you started having this dedicated practice, but it's even going to get easier and better with time. So just give it some time and be patient. Good. All right, guys, we're going to lower our knees back onto the mat to switch sides. Let's shift the weight onto the right side. And we're going to bring our left foot forward. The whole point is to do all these movements with trust so that we don't injure the body. And once the body trusts your mind and knows that all these poses that you're doing are intentional, then everything becomes a lot more effortless. You don't have to think about it as much as you do. Simply trusting your own inner light, your own breath to go through this. In your low lunge, just shift your body weight to the sides, lower your hips down intentionally to let go of the weight. And then let's come into our first half split on the left side. And for me, my left side is significantly tighter than my right side. So again, I'm not going to have any judgment. That's just how my body is. But I'm just going to trust the intelligence of my breath to bring that balance into my body. The left and the right side of the body, at the end of the day, our life is going to be at balance. So take it day by day, breath by breath. As you maintain your depth, maintaining the length in your hamstring, open up your hips and then close the hips. And notice how your left hamstring is heating up, but your left quad is also very much engaged. So that's gonna stay the same when you're taking a wider angle in your half splits. Just try to loosen up your hips. One more breath. Exhale to let go. Then let's walk the hands forward and we're going to bring both feet flat onto the mat. Pointing the toes forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax your chest towards your left thigh. If you want to bring your hands onto your shin, onto your thigh, go for it. Try to relax your rib cage and sending that support towards the back body from the front body. One more breath in and breathing out. Take your time and slowly come all the way up. Good. From here, we're going to come into our standing splits or our active version of our splits. Let's start by lifting the left toes and the right heel off the floor. Find a place, find a point in front of you that's not moving to have your gaze at. It will help with your balance. It's really challenging to find balance in this pose, but with the right attitude and the right setup, you can and you will. Take another deep breath. Exhale, letting go, and let's plant our feet back down onto the mat. Extend the arms out and come into your Parsvottanasana, bringing your hands onto your back, either holding onto your opposite elbows or pressing your knuckles onto each other with your palms in a fist, or bring your palms in reverse prayer, fingertips touching, and then slowly lower into your pyramid pose. Keeping your focus towards your upper body, towards your shoulders, the muscles at the lower part of your neck on both sides, the big triangular muscle that connects your upper back towards your mid back, all the way to your armpit, and going a little deeper, muscles surrendering your scapula, the serratus muscles at the back of your rib cage and between the ribs. And let's take a deep breath in and a slow, relaxing exhale. And then take your time to come back up. Relax your fingers, maybe shake your wrists. And slowly place your right knee back onto the mat. Maybe this time walk your right foot back just a little more to prepare for your half splits on this side. Again, it really helps to have a support underneath your hips, just so you can feel like you have that support for yourself in order to go a little deeper than what you are comfortable with. Just try to breathe wherever you are. Just remind yourself that, again, with patience, you're gonna achieve the results that you want. Do it safely, honor your body, honoring what is, and trusting the process, trusting your practice. And slowly, when you're ready, you're gonna release. Bend your left knee back and then bring your left knee beside your right. Coming back to all fours. If you want to go back into your downward facing dog for a nice stretch, go ahead. Extend your hips up and back. Let's take a deep breath in. And a slow, relaxing exhale. And then lower both knees back onto your mat, and we're going to come onto our back. So rotate your hips down, and let's swing the legs forward and come onto your back. If you want to bring your pillow and your blanket underneath your hips to extend your legs up, then go for it. If not, not a big deal. As long as your hips are soft. And then if you want to bring the soft line into your knees, go ahead and do that. Just let your legs float up in this space for a little bit. And even cross one leg over the other. And crossing the opposite ankle over the other ankle. Bring both legs back side by side. Exhale, letting go. Gently bend your knees and let's bring both feet back onto the mat. Rest here for a moment. If you want to come back into your constructive rest pose, go ahead. Press your knees onto each other and bring your feet apart slightly. From here, we're going to move on to our shoulder bridge. So take your time to walk your feet back so that the inner arches of your feet are now parallel with about the medium length of the block distance away in between the feet and the inner thighs. Pull your knees forward. Turn your toes to point forward. And then press your heels down to lift the hips up. We walk the shoulder blades towards each other, then interlace your fingers underneath you and send the hips up a little higher. Finding some nice peeling. It's almost like peeling the muscles at the front of your hips away from each other so that you can feel that opening the front body. But try not to hold on to your energy in your low back and your glutes. It's almost like lengthening out of your low back instead of bending your low back. So lengthen out, and then with the power in your body, send it up a little more to find depth. And then slowly release your fingers and take your time to lower your spine back onto the mat. And let your hips settle down for a moment. Then we're going to walk our feet forward. Take a wider angle at the back of your knee. And then let's press the feet, the heels back down onto the mat and lift the hips up. Doesn't matter if your hips aren't going to lift as high as the last time, which is naturally going to be the case because you don't have the same length to lean onto in order to find that depth that we did last time around. But we're working different muscles here, different areas in our muscles, bringing that strength, that same awareness, so that again, we can advance in our practice by expanding our awareness of our body. One more breath in, maybe lift up the hips up a little higher, lengthening from the mid back, low back up, and slowly release, and let's lower the spine back down onto the mat. And as you rest your hips down onto the floor, walk the feet forward just a tiny bit more, and maybe this time your toes are lifting off the floor so that the only points of contact of your legs and the floor are going to be your heels. When you're there, then press your heels down and slowly lift your hips up. Keep extending your toes up, sending that energy for the length of your legs from your core up to your toes. Did I miss anything? Sorry. We're good? All right. Then let's lower the toes over to the right side. And then come back to the center, and we're going to lower our toes over to the left side. Come back to the center, keep pressing the heels down, lifting the toes up, lift the hips up, and then gently roll yourself back onto your mat. Then from here, we're going to stretch our legs long and relax our arms by our side. Turn your palms to face up. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Breathe out. Let go. Let your body rest here. Let your muscles soften. Your toes, the tops of your feet, your ankles, calves, your thighs. Let your hips relax. Let your spine, your back body feel the support. The front body, soften your belly, your chest. Relax the shoulders. Soften your neck, your jaw. Relaxing the muscles around your lips, your nose, your eyes, eyebrows. Relaxing the forehead. And draw your attention towards the crown of your head. Keeping your focus, your attention inward. The journey, the dance of your life energy, your breath. Let it unify you. Then losing sense of time, of place, completely dissolve inward. And take your time to slowly move your fingers and your toes around, circling your ankles, your wrists. Extend your arms up and over your head. Energize all 10 fingertips, all 10 toes. Everywhere else in between in your body. Exhale, soften down. Bend your knees and let's roll onto your side. Keep resting your head on your upper arm, using your arm as your pillow. When you feel ready, take your time and come back up. Sit up comfortably. Both hands in front of our hearts. Let's take 3 deep breaths together to end our practice. Inhale. Exhale, hope. Inhale, optimism. Exhale, hope. Inhale, optimism. Exhaling, hope. And slowly open your eyes. Thank you.